Reyes Colas, Abril conocido, la firma de atrás, y para crecido, vida para atrás, la propia vida, la bonita, pedagada en la vida. Hey, what's up, Hillbilly? Justin Rosa. Bueno, vaya su Oh, thank you, Hillbilly. Thank you, man. Thank you, man. Thank you, man. Very much, man. Take care, dude. We're gonna bring in I got fun. Oh, cool, man. That's great, man. Cool, thanks. Hey, thanks very much, man. Yeah, lo quiere tocar, acordeón, la pena para con más de rock and roll, repetition, and repetition. La vamos a que vas a sí, reyes escolar, cruzó la frontera, que para llegar, la Yes, in the highway, in the harbor, io trascinavo hava craio, io trascinavo portaiente bravo, hava con avere suonava che hava la honda sabia, la suonava che tanto quería, el caballo que Jaime montaba, es un hablaba, un caballo que Jaime montaba, no entendí lo que yo te hablaba. Antes de fue con mala intención, pero tocada el corazón, con mala intención, es tocada en el corazón. Cantaron en la cantina, una canción, just for donde empezaba un Jaime papá, nada, donde antes paseaba, dar una Jaime con mala jugada. Una, Hey, what's up, honey? Honey ho. I'm doing good. Oh, thank you, honey home. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'll tell you. I will tell in a little, and in a couple of minutes, I'm going to tell a story. Okay. Oh, thank you. Quiero ser el guapo, ser, ver, ver, que sube, que bájale por el botón, debajo de Mhm. Mhm. North Carolina, Jack. Yeah. Mhm. Okay, okay. Hold on. Okay, here it goes. Hold on. Just all right, give me a couple of seconds. Okay, here we go. I'll tell you a story. I'm gonna tell you a story of a place at least about 50 years ago where I used to live. First of all, here we go. This curve you see right here, this curve. People back in the day used to call the curve of death. Why? Because there was a lot of accidents happen right on this curve. This one right here could be because a lot of people used to take this road in order to go to the beach, and some of them probably had too much to drink, and this is where they met their fate. There. Well, now here's a story. I'm going to tell you a story. I used to live here. I'm not ashamed. I used to live on this street here. Going inside. No, no. Wait a minute. Let's go back. Let's go inside. Cool. Okay. You see this fence right here, which says 51 uh 94? Well, years ago, this house wasn't there. Didn't look like that. But right there, they were building a fence, a brick. They were building a brick fence, building a brick fence right here. So one day, some kids came around and they were playing around there, but the cement wasn't dry enough. Some kid, started playing around there, running and stuff like that, and the bricks fell at him, and it killed him. Yeah, instantly. They fell down like that. There wasn't dry. Somebody would have done. And believe me, I was about 8 years old at the time when I heard about when I heard about it. It freaked me out. So this place right here. So this place used to be a mom and pop store, but not anymore. It's now a chain store now. But the chain store, it, you know, conserve preserve its original name as La Panchita. That means Little Francesca. Well, Little Francis, Francesca, because the lady that owned this place was a very nice lady, whom some years later, after I left, and they were years later, one of her sons was murdered in an armed robbery when she owned this store. Maybe, yeah, was murdered. So this is where I live. Oh God, I hate this stuff. Okay. Oh, we're here. Well, okay. This is my old house. This is right here. You see this window here? This is my old house. And right over here, this is the bathroom window. And this right here, this is a hallway. Gets you to the balcony. And this is how you get into right here. Right inside. You see these stairs? Remember that I haven't seen these in 50 years, believe it or not. Uh, right inside here was some place where the owner used to make a kind of like cure shop, leather jackets, leather purses, things that he would sell to tourists. Right here. Remember coming at night, but back in those days, this wasn't. This was all dirt road. All of that was a dirt road. All of that, all of this was a dirt road. This thing right here, and there were days when we go to the movies. It was really dark, and we had to, and to get home, we had to go walk to this dark, get on these stairs, turn this way. Like that. Makes me a lot of nostalgia. Yeah. This right here used to be a I don't know, but you can easily go through here, but it was like an alley. Yeah. I want to tell you guys a story that happened to me right here. Right also here one time. This was around Christmas of 1974. Right here. Right here. I was standing right over here, about here. Yeah, about here. Coming here was a cop car. This right here used to be a mom and pop store right here for years. I don't know what it's now. Okay, here's the store goes here. I was standing right here, right about right here, or here, somewhere up between here and here, and I'll say about here. Let's see with that. Inco- Incoming was a cop car. You know what I had with me, and I threw it. Not at the cop car, but I threw it. I had a cherry bomb, and I threw it right here. And the cop car was coming here. Boom. And the cops didn't do anything to me. But if this would have been in this country, oh man, I would have. Cops would have said, "Hey kid, there was a hey kid, we're gonna go get your parents. Hey kid, we're gonna get your parents." Yeah, I was saying right here. Cop car was coming. He was coming from here. Don't remember the white patrol car going that. This was around Christmas of '74. Between that time, before. Yeah, my home, and I live right to be back. I'm gonna show it to you. And I live right over here. Just seeing this just gives me a lot of nostalgia. This is the kitchen window. Right here is the bathroom. This is our old apartment right here. And this is the hallway that leads you to the balcony, to the terrace. And this is when you came in. This is how you went out. This is how you went out. This is how you came in and went out. You go in. And let's go a little bit here. You see this over here? Sometimes we used to wait for the bus right here. Now you got a hotel here. This was only the school here. That was it. This wasn't, these houses were not even there. These houses you see right there weren't even there. And over here, as you walk here, we used to walk to go to the fair over here. Me and my whole family. My mom, my sister, my brothers and sisters used to walk through here. Not only that, a lot of people used to do it from there. A lot of friends of our neighbors used to walk. Just go up here to go see the. Now there's no more fairs, but you got all these modern buildings now. You even got an American College Junior. I think you got all these buildings, but all of this wasn't there at that time. You got a Smart and Final store, which is like that. This right here says Calimax. Let me show you. Okay, right here. You see this? This when we still lived there. This they just opened it when we lived there. This supermarket. That's the oldest of all these businesses. This is the oldest one there. Man. Yeah, a cousin of mine. Oh my God, he was such a liar, cheater. He said he was going to open a restaurant around here. And my brother said, "But you, oh, man, don't believe that guy." Yes, oh yes, I believe that the buildings, like right here, right over here. Let me show you something. Okay, okay, you see this right here? Looks like a church, huh? Well, here used to be a big hotel, and there was a hotel, and they had a big swimming pool, and they used to have a lot of they had a lot of events there, like parties and stuff like that. I remember there was a guy who was our neighbor, and he used to work in that hotel. He was part of the official. He played the trumpet and the official for the band of that place. It was historical. It was called the Mission of the Sun. It was called because it was shaped of a you see like an old mission, old California mission. Takes you back to the 1600s. And this is a Chinese restaurant. Yeah, right here. Right here, my cousin said he was going to open a restaurant. And as always, the guy didn't open it. He was always lying. He was always trying to. Sometimes he would come to visit us. Yeah, and everything. Such a killer. He was such a character. I don't know if he's still alive or not. He still lives in this town, my cousin Eleuterio, that's his name. But I think he's pushing 70 right now. I'm not mistaken. hmm Okay, now I'm going to show you more historical stuff. Historical buildings, okay, honey? Right here is called the Solar neighborhood, which means sun neighborhood, Solar, because it was called like that because Solar it's kind of like a name, like Smith or John, and all these neighborhood, the people that own that resort that I just showed you were called Solar, and they called the neighborhood Solar. My aunt used to live here. Cousins had there years ago, but they all moved here. They all live in now in the U.S. Well, my aunt passed away in 2016. Now we're gonna go over here. Now this is where we came. First of all, come from. Okay, you see this bridge here? Well, back in those days, the bridge wasn't here, and we had to walk from here. This was where we lived. Walk from here all the way here. We would cross the street, walk, and we had to run like hell so we wouldn't get run over. I remember one time my dad, my aunts came. My aunts, they came from Southern Mexico to visit us, and they were staying at my cousin Swan's house in downtown area. And my dad, said to you guys don't have, since, my dad didn't have a car at that time. So we walked them all the way to this bus stop right here, running. Believe it or not, it was, if this was like early in the evening, it was around 6:30 or something. I remember that. hmm So now we're going back to the curb of the death. This one right here. And over here, this cemetery, I got a dear cousin here who's buried. She was killed in an auto accident back in '84. She's buried in this cemetery. You know, something to this day, I still can't believe it. I'm still kind of shocked in a way. I learned to live with it and move on, but still here. It just still hurts, you know. It still hurts, you know. Remember her. I mean, still hurts very much remembering her. She was like a little older than I am. I was about 17. She was like 21 or 22 at the time. My cousin. To this day, you know, I just can't believe it. Still, you know, but you know, I have moved on. But there are things that just don't go away. I mean, I tell you, it's part of life. Okay, now here, let me show you this thing over here. Okay, I'm glad I. This is called the Five Corners. Why do they call the Five Corners? Right here, they call this the Five Corners because there are one corner here, yes, one corner that leads over there, and one corner here, and one corner over here. Mm-hmm. One corner here. Okay, there's one corner here to start. One corner right here that leads to the beach. One corner here, and one corner there. That's five. Okay. Okay. So now we're gonna go down. Yep. For years we used to take the bus. Used to go through here, but it still does. Still does the blue and white route. Still does to this day. I don't know if it's still, but yeah. This is you see this. This is called Jersey Milk. It's a local brand of milk. I'm surprised that the big chain didn't, you know, knock it down. You know, some people say right here. I haven't heard this story, but I gotta look into it. Some people say right here there was a house that was haunted, and nobody has ever built a house anymore because they're afraid of it. Right here. Okay, now let's go over here to the more neighborhood. I don't know if anybody has loved the music of Santana. Okay, okay, my age. Okay, I am 58. I will be 60. No, I will be 59 in December. No problem. So this build. So right here, this leads you. Okay. So this street is called Third Street. This is one of the oldest streets. Well, not the oldest, but it's one of the oldest parts of town. And if you're a devoted Catholic, this church right here is St. Francis of Assisi Church. Right here. Now, this is the city. This is the downtown area. This city is right on the border, just like yeah, right here. This city is one of Mexico. It's border with the United States, just like Buffalo with Canada. That just same thing. So right here, check this out. I don't know why this streets always creep me out. This is a funeral home right here, a funeral home. And we go over here, right over here. And as we go over here to this street, right over here, and this is another funeral home. This, I mean, this street's right here. To this day, they still freak me out since I was a kid. I don't know why. I mean, nothing ever happened to me. Thank God. I just don't know why. This place always freaks me out. These streets right here. For years I've been to them. Later I learned that some of these places are haunted. Like this house over here. Like this house, I've showed it to you guys in many of my lives. This house, you know why the window is crooked? That window, you know why that's window's crooked? Because they say that keeps away evil spirits coming in. Because they said that the people that owned that house were believers in the occult and witchcraft and all that kind of stuff. And they believe a window like that keeps away evil spirits. The legend has it, if you remove that window, the evil spirits will come in and destroy everybody inside the house. Just a super legend. Yeah. And we used to walk home sometimes at night from the movies. And we used to walk through this street. God, I just didn't know that. I just didn't know this house was haunted all the time because, this house goes back to the 1940s. And we used to walk home and we used to go all the way up here. All the way up here. All the way up here and climb these stairs going at night. Oh my God, that is kind of creepy, scary, doing that. Yeah, we used to go to this movie theater that was located right here. This old building that was built in 1944. This building right here. It started as okay, it was a playhouse, and then it was a movie theater, and then they closed the movie theater, and they made it into a boxing arena that didn't do well, and now it's a playhouse. But right here, this right here building, this is a social home. Right here, that belongs to the same organization, Mutual Lista Zaragoza. It's like sort of like the Lions Club or the Elms Club. I don't know if in Canada you guys have those things, like the Elks Club, like the Rotary Club, something like that. Rotary Club, okay, that's the one. And these like Rotary clubs are named after historical figures and cultural figures. Change. In some other countries, it's named after an ex-president or something. But right here in 1968, few people know the story. There was a Mr. Universe competition, and there was a young man whom we all know as Hasta la Vista, baby. I'll be back. He competed right here. And not only that, years later, I participated in a school recital here. Back in late spring of '76, right here. I still remember that. Damn. God, it's so funny. Yeah, our school recital. Let me tell you another creepy story. Okay, this is school now, but we were walking home one night. This was about, like, I'll say 50 years ago. I was with my mom and brothers and sisters. We were walking by this thing, and it was like a Sunday night, and there was a guy laying on the ground, and his arm was like all swollen. I don't know, like he had some kind of like he had uh I don't know, leprosy or something. I don't know what it was, but some kind of infection or something. I remember my mom stopped, and my mom kind of wanted to get near him, but this lady said, "Man, don't go over there. Guy looks pretty sick." A lady said to him. God, it was so sad seeing, but he was laying up right. He was like laying that down right here. And it was so sad. I'm walking here this. Here's another funny story. I'll get you. This didn't happen to me, but it happened to my brother. Right here, my brother was walking home. My older brother was walking home, and there was a big fight between these kids. A big rowdy, fight, rowdy and all that kind of stuff. And my brother happened to be there at the wrong place at the wrong time. And guess what happened? The cops came in and they took everybody, and they even took my brother, thinking he was part of the group. So the good news was that one of my brother told him who my dad was, and one of the cops, I think, knew my dad, and he called my father. And my dad came over and picked him up. Yeah. See, no, he was just, I don't know what he was doing there, because if he was walking home, the bus didn't stop around there to go home. The bus drove by there when it was coming from where we live, but to go home, it was you ought to go to the other street, to Third Street, because this is a one-way street. This was a one-way street. That street right there, it still is right now. Okay, now we're gonna go. Okay, right here was this eatery right here. This eatery's been there for the past 60 years. Eatery right here. It's a landmark in Mexico. Really cool place to eat. I ate there years ago. And right over here, check this out. Right over here at this movie theater is called the Grand Cinema. So a lot of movies there. And I'm going to give you a hint. You write it here in the chat, okay? Anybody there, okay? I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna make it a multiple choice question, okay? And I'm gonna make three movies, okay? Three movies, and guess which one it is, okay? Okay, the last movie I saw here. Okay, here we go. The three movies I'm gonna name. Okay, it was okay. Uh, the Poseidon Adventure. Uh, Mr. Majestic. Charles Bronson movie. Rocky. Which was the last movie I saw there? Of all places. Which movie was that? Okay, I'm gonna name the first. I'm gonna name it again. Okay, guess what movie it was? I'm gonna name the three movies: The Poseidon Adventure, Mr. Majestic, and Rocky. Which was the last of those three movies? Which one was the last movie I ever saw here? Okay, I'm gonna give you 10 seconds. Okay, time's up. All right. Okay, I'll tell you now, it was Rocky. It's not right there, the last movie I ever saw there. Okay. Uh, I don't know if you guys ever heard of the song that says, a song that says, here we are at the Tijuana jail. I don't know if you guys ever heard of a song that says, you are at the Tijuana jail. And you see this building right here? Okay, first, you see this building? This building's been there. Oh my God, this looks the same. Just like when I was about, I don't know, maybe 6 years old, I think. Or maybe when I was a toddler. This has been there a long time. Right over here. You know, this place right here, honey. I want to tell you a story about a bar that used to be right here. It's the kind of place that it kind of reminds me of Tupac in some way. Because every time I went to this place, there was the same people there. The bar was in one of these businesses. It's been closed for years and years and years. The bar. It was right. It was in one of these businesses right here. Closed for years. Okay, and it reminds me of Tupac. Okay. Now, if you guys ever heard the song, here we are at the Tijuana jail. Okay, the jail that we're talking about used to be right here. Right here. I would have to say right here. Right here. But in 1990, I think in 2004, they closed the jail, they tore it down, and they built this park, the city. Right over here, this clinic you see right here, this clinic you see right here, this is where I first had my shots, my measles shots, and this is where my mom took me. The building has different now, it's remodeled and everything now, but this is where my mom used to take me to get my shots in. Yeah, this is the Tijuana jail. So right here, this used to be called a basket store right here. Now it's like a Miyake gym, a boxing gym now. So right here, this bakery you see here, it's called the Best Bakery, La Mejor, has the best pastry there, best bread you ever gonna. God, best place to go there. Has it? They haven't. They're still open. They haven't closed. They've been there. They've been there for 50 years or so and so. And right over here, this over here. Oh, I gotta check this out. Oh, wait a second. Oh, it's right there. Okay. Okay, 9th Street, and this is Madera. Oh God, I gotta check that out when I go down there. Oh God, man, I gotta look at the menu. Ooh, man, this looks pretty good. Oh God, this awesome, awesome place. Oh God, I gotta go to this place, man. That's gonna be oh God, oh okay. So that's oh okay. Oh, I gotta check. Good job, man. I found a great place to eat there now. Yeah, I gotta check it out, man. I gotta check it out. So over here, this street right here. What? Oh, okay. That's God. This street's been going around for years and years. You see, this is okay. This is a laboratory. They call that a laboratory. Here, where people go and right here, a while back, years ago, there was. Now most of these are shops, are like fish shops here. Been around for here, but these used to be apartments, but now they're still there, I guess. No, that's not an apartment. No. Well, but there used to be a neighborhood. There used to be apartments here, but there's a legend surrounded about that place here. They say that years ago there was a guy who used to work in one of the bars that was located on this located around this street. They say that one night he was walking home. This was around like 1 o'clock in the morning, or maybe but around that time. Late, I know it was really late at night, that's for sure. But he was walking home to his house over here. They said the legend. His house was right here, and I'm assuming that this used to be his. So I will assume this used to be the apartment where he lived. Well, legend has it that he came home. He was coming home to his house, and that he saw what turned out to be some strange creature, like a one of those creatures you saw in the movies, like Ghostbusters. Remember the first one? Those dogs, like that. He claimed he saw one of them. They looked at him in a very like menacing way, kind of like that. I don't know, but that's it's only an urban legend. Now let's get back to our business. Well, over here, they say this was a Chinese restaurant. Funny, let me tell you a story. They say this building that is now a florist shop, like a lot of these businesses on this corner are florists. Well, they say back then there was a restaurant that claimed to be Chinese, and guess what? It wasn't Chinese. You know what I got there? I got a lousy chicken sandwich and a Coke right here. Well, the chicken sandwich wasn't that bad, but well, whoever goes to a Chinese restaurant to order a chicken sandwich. God. So this store, so this is all flower. All of these are flower shops or something, or flower warehouses, whatever you want to call it. But this used to be like a toy distribution center. Yeah. Back in the early '80s, it caught on fire. Oh my God! Never thought nobody lived here. Right here, or here, or here. I'll say right here. There used to be an old beat up Chevy parked there. Old, I think it was a 55 or 57 or something like that, or 56 or something. Beat up used to park there. You're not gonna believe me, but right here, right as you go inside here, this is like a fruit distribution center. Funny, if you go over here and you see where this gentleman is standing right there, you're not gonna believe it. You're not gonna believe it, but that used to be a restaurant right inside there. And you would say, what would a restaurant be doing there? I mean, doesn't have to be over here, but right here in the front by the sidewalk so everybody can see it walk by. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, restaurant. So funny. The lady that used to work there, she had this really really funny giggle. I remember. God, I don't know. I never knew her name, but she was this skinny lady, short hair, light skin like that. Really funny. I remember one time she threw a pitcher of water of a guy that came in. I think the guy was trying to be fresh with her or something, or made a pass at her. Yep, this was back in '74, 51 years ago. Yeah, yeah. Distribution center right here. Right here, there used to be this fat guy in one of these shops. He had like an antique shop. They used to own an antique shop. Used to right there. This right here used to be a some sort of mini factory or something. Yeah, but now it's like a tire, express tire. And over here, right inside here. Okay, here we go. Okay, here was the green building here. Part of the red here. That's where my dad had his. Hey, hello, Carla. How are you? This is where my dad had his fruit and vegetable distribution center. And right over here, my dad. There was this guy who used to run an eatery here. Boy, the guy could cook. I remember he could cook. He could cook, man. Right over here. hmm some of these places, this a lot I'm showing to you. This is where I spent a lot of my childhood. I'm going to give you another funny story about me. Here. Okay, this is funny. This is a really funny one. I never told no one this story, but this used to be a movie theater. You could see movies there like all American films like 2001: Space Odyssey, The Godfather, and all that come back then. Well, years later, some idiot in that movie theater started saying, "Hey, the movie theater is burning," And then he told somebody else, the movie theater is burning. The movie theater is burning. And everybody was whispering, the movie theater is burning. And suddenly, the people started screaming and running and panic. All because I immediately started saying that, hey, the movie theater is burning. Oh, yeah. Right over here, let me show you some stories about this place over here. I never talked much about this castle, the South Castle, but it's been a legend. People have always, in the neighborhood here, always been afraid of this castle right here. According to legend, this place was owned by a man who was a Rosa Christian. It's kind of like a New Age, uh, um, I don't know, New Age religion or something. They have them here in the U.S. It's a religion that mixes astrology and Christianity. They say that the guy that owned this house was a poet. He wrote poems, wrote all kinds of stuff. And and after the guy died, his grandchildren, I don't know why, for some mysterious reason, tore down. I mean, burned all of his poetry, all of his works. I don't know why. I think they were too creepy or something. But this house, right, this castle. A lot of people lived here. They say there was a general that lived here at one time. But the people of this neighborhood, which is my old neighborhood, used to always talk that there was scary thing. There was a vampire that lived there. That there was ghosts there and all kinds of stuff. Somebody once told me a story. There was a headless biker who would attack you. That story, but the headless one. That's the one I don't find to be scary because whoever told me this story was just pulling my leg or just being a jerk or something, being just a prankster. And look at all that trash. According to the story, but here goes the funny stuff. He said he was walking home, he said this old guy was walking home, and he noticed there was some, and he noticed that the headless motorcyclist came rushing towards him. Then he ran all the way here, and then he ran down all the way down here to the old mom and pop store that is still here. That it's been there forever, I remember. He ran to seek refuge. This is what I heard. Yeah. And by the way, check this out. Right over here is another funeral parlor. Can you believe that? There's about three in a I'll say a 5 block radius. 3 funeral parlors. God, what is that? 3 funeral parlors. Damn. Now I know why I got. Now I know why. I mean, this place I've always been freaked out every time I walk. I walk through this. But this neighborhood has been around since I was a kid. I mean, this used to, but not all of it. Not it's never been fear. I mean, this used to be a store right here. This used to be a store here. It was called the Western Stores, and there was so. And I wanted my mom and dad to take me to that store because they used to sell bikes there, and I wanted a bicycle, and they never took me there. Nah, but my mom bought me a bike, but she got a better bike for me from the U.S., which is a better type of bike. Yeah, from the U.S. Okay, now. So on this street right here, there was a man that used to live in this street. There's a story about a young girl that died back in that story that I told many times. But the father, years later, after the girl died, used to live on this street right here. But my guess is that I know it wasn't over there. I know he didn't live right over there because a lot of that because we've been there. And down here, all of these back then were farms at the time, and that's he didn't live there. So my guess is his house was probably the house that the cab driver came because actually the cab driver told him that this girl who said that she lived here asked me to come here so she can give me back my jacket. So my guess is that he probably lived okay, maybe okay, I don't know about that. My guess is he probably lived somewhere around here where we have the creepy house that the mother and son ghost appeared. So my guess is that he lived on this stretch of street on some of these old houses. Yes, legend has it that he that the cab that there was a cab driver working the graveyard shift, and he picked her up. He said he picked up the girl, picked up the girl in the downtown area, and asked him to come to my house, which was here, which was some here sometime. But the story goes like that: that the cab driver one day picks up this mysterious girl, and the girl said, "Look," she says, "take me to this cemetery." He says, "Take me to this cemetery." So the cemetery is located over here. The cemetery is still there. It's the oldest cemetery in town. I can get there now much easier. Okay, now we got to go up and up and up and up. Up. God, this sure brings back old memories. Got to go up, up. No, not here. Okay, we got to go up to this street right. Okay, here we go. Got to go over here. This is that the cab driver left the girl over here to a cemetery that we're going to go find over here. Over right here. Oh, this cemetery right here. The cab driver dropped her right here at number one. At cemetery number one. This is Panteon. That's the term in Spanish. Drop her right here. And her mausoleum to this day still there. To this day. And then he asked, and then she said to him, "Tomorrow, go to this address at Fifth Street, the place that I just showed you, and you tell my father that that to give you my jacket, to give you okay." So the next day, the cab driver went to that street that I just showed you to pick up the jacket. He went there to pick up the jacket, but when he got to that house, he knocked on the door. The cab driver said, "Hey, hello, sir. How are you?" Sir, the reason why I'm here, I drove last night on my shift. I drove this girl to the cemetery, and she told me that you were going to give me my jacket back. What? Hey, buddy, is this some kind of joke or something? What do you mean I'm going to give you a jacket? Yes, it was a girl, very pretty. She said that you were going to give me my jacket. She said her name was Enrique. No, no, no. It can't be her. That's my daughter. She's been dead for many years now. Sir, I'm not joking. She said to me to come right here. No, 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 no. No, no. My daughter's been dead for many years now. Okay? You didn't see anybody, okay? Somebody's playing a joke on you. No, look at sir. Sir, I am not joking. I saw her last night and she gave me this address, which is the correct address. Okay, kid, come here. Let me show you something. He took him to the father took the kid took the cab driver to the living room and said, "Look, see that? That's my daughter. That's my daughter, Enriqueta. She died about 20 years ago." Oh my God, that's the one I saw last night. What do you mean? You saw her last night? Yeah, that's the one who told me about it. Come here. I'm going to show you something. He opened the room, which was locked for many years, and guess what? The room was sealed and it hadn't been open for many years. And guess what? The guy's jacket was in the bedroom. And then when the father opened the the bedroom door, he noticed something on his bed. On the bed, it was his jacket. And that room has wasn't. And that room was was closed. It was was not was not hasn't been opened since was sealed. Nobody had gone inside there. Not even the maids or the butlers, anybody, because the guy was rich. Well, the guy was a rich guy, and he was shocked. He was so shocked that he had to go to see a psychiatrist, and the psychiatrist told him to stop working at night and relax more at night, go to bed. And legend has it he has never, and I don't know what else happened, but that's what happened. You know that that cemetery has a lot of stories about this one, but the cemetery is still there. Some people have dared to go inside there at night and see the girls' mausoleum. And I'm thinking of going there sometime, maybe in the wintertime, I guess. But he wasn't the only victim. There were two other guys. One of them was a guy named Juan Sarate. Sarate was a worker, was a just he was a supermarket worker. He was from another state. Like say he was like say it was in New York. He was probably like say he was from Florida or maybe Maryland or Georgia, something like that. So the story goes that Juan Sarate got off the bus someplace. Okay, where's the street? Someplace. He took the blue and white bus route, which years later we used to take that route to see our aunt. He probably got off here, and decided to got up here and he saw the mysterious woman somewhere around here and asked him to walk her to the cemetery. So the legend is that Juan Zarate took this mysterious lady because she said that she lived there, and that she was gonna that she that because he had because well the thing is that he saw the lady and it was a cold night and he decided to lend her this jacket. So they started walking late at night, and he decided to go and he you know he was saying to her, where do you live? Oh, I only live about a few blocks from here. Oh, okay. So they got to the cemetery. He noticed something. First, he noticed that the gate was locked, seal lock. And then, but as he noticed that the gate was locked, that the gate was locked in, the gate was locked. He noticed that the girl was already inside. As he saw that, he said, "What the fuck?" He decided to run like a fox all the way home. He got in. His cousin, because he was living with his cousin and his wife. He told him, "Hey, cuss, what happened? What happened? What happened? Did somebody try to mug you or something?" No, nothing. I don't know. Come on. What happened, cuz? Come on. You guys want me to call the cops? Did somebody? No. Give me a piece of paper and a pencil, okay? I'll tell you what happened. He was so freaked out, he couldn't even talk. So he said, so he started writing what he saw. He was so he wrote what he saw, and his cousin didn't believe him what he had just experienced, seeing the creepy lady. And the creepy lady is her. It's this woman right here. Okay. Okay, the creepy lady. Okay, the creepy lady is this one right here. This is the woman. This is the one he saw that took him to the cemetery. And right here, I'm gonna make it a little bigger. Hold on. So this is the mausoleum right here. And you see, there's an angel, and that's her right there. So some people describe her that she looked like this when they saw her. hmm And right here, these were the parents of her. The photo was taken in 1936. This is the dad, and this is the mom. And this is the man who claimed who saw her, Sarate, who ran home. This happened in 1952. He says that this is a news story that ran in the local papers. It says he talked with a ghost in the cemetery. Yeah. You see now? So this is the picture. This is her. So here's a house right here. And this is the cemetery. Here's the cemetery. This is a picture of her. Look at here. This is the obituary. This is the obituary. It dates back to November 26, 1959. Oh, goody goody. We found something interesting. She says today at 2:45 a.m. This is at 2:45 a.m. 2:45 a.m. in the morning. H.A. This here. She left. She left. She left this world in this city. Miss Enriqueta Hill. Her parents. They're very sorry and very and of course and her relatives and friends. Yeah, because someone. Yeah, it says it's in Spanish. And our deepest condolences en el profundo en your verdict. It says sus padres lamentemos y además we're very sorry and plus relatives and friends lo lo and to come to their funeral and to come to our funeral, it'll be at 3 p.m. Tijuana, Mexico, November 26, 1929. Oh my God! So this is the original. So this is the obituary. So that's the obituary right there. Dated 1929, inviting people to come in and to share our deepest loss of our daughter, Enriqueta Hill, who was 20 years old at the time. Gosh, she was a year older than my grandfather, and my maternal grandfather. He was born in 1810. My maternal grandfather. Actually, she was like 29. She was 20 at the time. Well, at that time, my grandfather was in the neighboring state working in the railroads. Can you believe it? If he would have decided, if he would have told my great grandfather, hey, hey, Dad, I want to go to Tijuana to work in, I mean, this was 1929. I mean, my grandfather could have told my great grandfather would have said, "Hey, Dad, I want to go to Tijuana. I want to go to work in the work in some bar as a waiter. There's a lot of money over there because there's prohibition in the United States, and there's a lot of and there's a big casino there. There's a lot of customers from the U.S. and they tip very well. Can you believe it? My grandfather would have come. Maybe, probably. Can you imagine if my grandfather would have met that woman? Damn. Maybe I was never even born if that happened. My grandfather would have freaked out, and years later wouldn't even met my grandmother. Yeah, because T1 in those days, it was a booming town because since prohibition was in the United States was at its peak, and all the people and a lot of people from San Diego who wanted to go have a drink and didn't want to and didn't have didn't have to worry about the cops, getting about the cops and getting busted for for drinking, for drinking and stuff like that. So it was booming. Even Al Capone during those days would visit that town. Gangsters, gangsters, would visit because there was a casino way before Vegas there, and movie stars at that time who were like Gloria Swanson, Buster Keaton, Lauren Hardy, Douglas Fairbanks, the swashbuckling actor, Tom Mix, these guys, from that era. And then there were, and then picture, and then usually guys like Clark Gable would go there years later. And Scott Fitzgerald, the author, would also, went over there. Can you believe that? I mean, damn. Yeah, it was a booming town. Well, I don't believe that. Yeah, she died. Yeah, she died at 2:45 a.m. That was and the funeral. It was the same day because in Mexico, they don't. When somebody dies, for example, say for example somebody dies in a car accident or has a heart attack, like around uh 12 12 noon. Okay, well the funeral will start at maybe 4 o'clock the same day. I tell you because I seen that in Mexico because I've been there to many funerals that the people had passed away the same day. But here in the United States, it's different. It takes about a week, maybe 2 weeks or something. Depends, weeks. My brother, they took since it was in San Diego where he died. It took for him. It took him at least 2 weeks or so, 3 weeks. Not sure, but damn, that's the obituary. It was published in the paper. That's what it is. November 23. Okay, let's see if it was the 23 of November. No, November 26. Yeah. Oh my God. Oh my dear God. Oh my God. Okay. 327? 327 3rd Street? Oh God. Let's see if we can find that. Let's see if we can find that, gang. Let's see if we can find that house. 327. Let's see if we're not the house, but we're gonna see where exactly we're gonna see where exactly the house was. I mean, not exactly where exactly where, but 320. I want to see that three. Okay, now let's go to. You see that right there? Right there, that's the mural. That's the Trump mural right there. That's the wall that people talked about all the time. Okay? It's enough of politics, okay? Oh my God, 327? Oh my God. Okay, we're gonna find that house, okay? We're not gonna find the house exactly, but we're just gonna, the thing we're gonna do, we're just gonna know not exactly where the house was, but approximately where it could be or where it was, I think. Okay, we're back in business. Okay, we're back. Okay, so this is where the because back then these neighborhoods right here where the church. Well, right here another creepy story happened here. I'll tell you guys in my next one. Okay, now let's look at now. You know something? Mexican houses they don't have their addresses. You know, like American. Okay, this is the street where the girl lived, where she died. Actually, this street right here. We're gonna have to go all the way here. Okay, now okay, this is another street now, but the street will start right here. So it'll have to be over here. Oh no, we're not. Of course, no, no, I'm still there. I'm still there. Okay, okay. Yeah, this is the park where my when this is the park where I used to go to Tottenham. So that's where the so this is where the girl lived. Oh my God. So well, okay, let's go back up here. So I speculate that the house where she died and the funeral took place back then, people to this day in some places in Mexico, people have their funerals at the deceased home. Like that. My guess. So my guess, it was right here. It was this empty parking lot where the girl lived. This parking lot right here. They say that the girl, that the young woman, some people say that she approaches people and asks her to take her to this mausoleum, but when she gets to the mausoleum, she suddenly disappears to this mausoleum you see here right here. Oh yeah, that was one scary story, huh? Yeah, I want to find other ones so I can tell you guys on the next live. But I'll tell you the truth, I really have fun telling you these stories. I love it. I'll try to find one of them that's to me that's kind of into that about a hospital. The hospital one. Oh, that happened there. That's the one that I want to tell you guys. I don't know if I ever told that story, but I think that's the one I'm going to tell you about. The hospital number 20 is called. I'll call that. It's called the old lady, the elderly lady of Hospital 20. That's the one name. It's in the eastern part of the city, much eastern, in a busy place. They call it the 510 because years ago there was a sign of the 510 stores. That was the name of a chain of small shops called the 510 stores. And these stores, they sold like children's school supplies and toys and all that kind of stuff, children. And and there was a lot of traffic that would go through those streets. The one there, boom, boom, boom. People would say, "Hey, I saw that the 510 at the 510 at the 510." So they call that area the 510. They call it because a big sign of the 510 that was there. People. because what the street leads all the way to the at least to a road that takes people to the bus station, and later on, and then it takes them to the airport. Not only that, it takes them also to the port of entry. Well then, okay. Well, I'll see you guys maybe tomorrow night on that, with another story. But I hope all you enjoy yourselves here and see you all soon. Okay, take care and good night and good luck.